Australia is going to vote for Labor light when they can just get Labor. Okay, so the next 3 years is going to be a Labor shit show, whereby taxes are going to go up, cost of living is going to go up. I would say in 3 years' time, the cost of living is going to increase by another 20% across the board, and rent's going to go up by at least that. Okay, not to mention the fact that interest rates, even though interest rates are coming down, it's going to have no effect at all on costs, because even if the cash interest rate gets dropped, what's going to happen is mortgage prices are still going to go up. Because guess what? The government is not releasing land at all. They're not removing the restrictions around building homes. So all of the costs, because to build a home in this country, realistically, the raw material cost is probably only about $100,000, okay? Plus whatever the labor costs are, okay? But to build that home, it costs $700,000, all right? So where does the other $600,000? It's not labor. It's because of all the bills and charges and taxes and fees the government squeeze you for to get that home built. Okay, that's all government, essentially government bloat. And Labor government is not going to reduce bloat at all. They're going to keep spending like basically an infinite credit card, and they're going to keep growing government because that's what Labor does. That's what they've always done. And even if you had the Liberal government right now, they would still grow government, because guess what? They're exactly like Turnbull. And Turnbull, what did he do? He bloated government. And he increased spending.
We had one person on the pod recently, and he's like, he mentioned one thing that stuck with me, and he's like, the Liberal and the Labor Party are two cheeks on the same ass.
Yeah, that's right.
Andy Schumler.
Yeah.
I want to go back to what you said earlier about if we take away the taxes and lower them, how do we actually have the lifestyle we have with the roads and the healthcare, et cetera? It seems totally irrational to not expect the government. So maybe this exists. I don't know much about politics, and I want to talk about how somebody who doesn't know much can learn more. Mm-hmm. It doesn't sound totally unreasonable for the government to have a line items of what they spend the money on. Does that exist? And if it doesn't, why is that not the case?
It does exist in the sense that there are what's in the budgets that the government put out every year, every financial. They put out examples of what they're going to spend money on. But the specific itemized line item is generally never publicly available.
But we have to do that in our businesses.
That.
It makes zero logical sense. I mean, if we're going to pay taxes, sure. If we're going to have to pay them,
sure.
Where's the money going?
But the other thing as well is that you have to understand that a lot of the government stuff that goes on, whether it's a state or federal level, is a lot of creative accounting. So, for example, they'll budget for expenditure on upgrading a highway or a road, or building a bridge, or building solar factories, solar farms, or whatever. And they'll say, oh, we're budgeting $600 million. But then what happens is, in the next budgetary allowance for that, even though the cost of the project is supposed to be $600 million, you see it again in the following year saying, oh, it's another $600 million. Well, we've already budgeted 600. Where's the other 600? Oh, we had cost overruns, or we had unexpected delays or whatever, and there's another $600 billion, and they kick the can down the road. So what happens is the Australian taxpayer is paying into a system whereby they're not getting any return on investment. There's no return, because the government will keep kicking the can down the road. And this is why Australia's national debt has risen. So when Rudd was in office, he blew I think it was $300 billion. He raised the national debt by $300 billion. So when Howard left office in 2007, the national debt in this country was less than $100 billion. And they had more money in the bank, or they had more money as liquid cash to pay off that debt than what the debt was actually there. So it was about $100 billion, but they had about $300 or $400 billion in taxes that they could cover it. Okay.